With me now, Jack Valero from the Catholic Voices. That's a media group that represents many ordinary Catholics here in the UK. Jack, thank you very much for coming
Hello.
in. What do you make of this trip so far, as Julia was saying, his first international visit?
I think it's very exciting. The first Latin American Pope with his first trip to Latin America. This is a very humble man, as Elton John has said. Francis is a miracle of humility in the age of vanity. We're all in the age of vanity. He's a miracle. And this is great news for the Catholic Church. People are really excited. The opening Mass, which was yesterday in Copacabana Beach, attended by almost 500,000 people, despite the rain and the cold. Great enthusiasm. His message, there's lots of problems in Brazil. There are protests about the expenses of the World Cup, which is coming up, and there's financial problems, economic problems, people without jobs. And the Pope said, quoting St. Peter, you know, I haven't come with silver or gold, but I've come with Christ. And usually with World Youth Days, there's a change in the country. And I think in this case, it'll be even more so, because people are so excited listening to him, to the messages that he's bringing. This is a man who went up the stairs to the plane with his own briefcase, who got into a Fiat, into a little car, a man of the people who likes to be with the people. The security people were really worried.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because, I mean, humility, fine, but it does cause other problems, potentially, doesn't it?
Sure. I mean, security, he's not so concerned about security for himself. And his main idea is to be with the people, is to give them the message of hope and of change, the message of the Church, which is to preach Christ, and how that can be good for the country. You know, usually with World Youth Days, what happens is that people go there and many people get moved to give their time, their lives, for the good of society. And this will happen too in Brazil. There's a great hope that the Church will be very much affected by this in Brazil.
I mean, just on the security issue, obviously we know that at one point he was caught in traffic, was taken up the wrong street.
That's right.
We know that homemade explosive device was found. It was very small and it wasn't very close to where he was going to go. But there are bound to be worries about that, aren't there?
Yes. And I think the security there is different from what the kind of security we have here. I don't think he's concerned about that. There's always these concerns with, you know, making sure that nothing happens. As more and more people arrive, I think this will be more important.
What does he have to do when he gets back to Rome to continue this theme, if you like, of humility? Because clearly, as you say, people in Brazil are obviously responding to him and what he is trying to convey. But there are things he's got to do at the Vatican as well, aren't there?
Sure.
Which will get this across more meaningfully. What's
really interesting is how he's actually carrying out the reforms in the Vatican. He's already named 3 committees. One for one for the Vatican Bank. What they call the Vatican Bank is actually not a bank, but it's a financial facility. One for the finances in all the departments. One for the Church at large. He himself hasn't moved into the Pope's house. He's stayed in the guest house because he wants to be surrounded by people. He said it's not that the other place is luxurious. It's that when I go to breakfast, I want to be with people. I want to meet people there. You know, I want to be with the people in the street and be connected to them. So I think he's carrying out the reforms. He is asking the people in the Church to behave as he behaves. He leads from the front with his humble lifestyle and his message, which really gets through to people. And people are listening and people are excited. I mean, there are many more journalists now in Rio than there have ever been in any World Youth Day, because I think there is excitement about what will happen with, you know, the message that he's going to give to the people in Rio and to the world.
Okay. Jack Valero, thank you very much indeed for coming in. Thank you.